What is up, Toad Trap Tribe? We are back with a special video for you today. We are going to be having a debate between myself, Lucius.
And your boy Tango Black.
And you got Alien God in the back. I'm going to be moderating this debate. We're going to have Lucius covering Sasuke from the Chunin exams. And we're going to have Tango covering Neji from the Chunin exams. So let's just imagine here a little bit. You pluck Gaara and Naruto from those matches. This is what we're looking at. This is going to be a battle to the death. Go ahead, Tango. You can go ahead and start us off.
Right. Thank you, mate. So, I like to start off by saying my boy Neji is underrated at this point in time. He's fast. He's strong. He's probably the smartest out of the Genin at this point in time.
He ain't capping.
And, I'm here to show y'all why my guy is the best guy.
Lucius, how do you feel about that?
Well, you got to give me something to respond to. Like, you said you think he's underrated, but what's your point? Why do you think he would beat Sasuke?
At this point in time, anything ranged attack wouldn't work.
Okay.
You would have to fight Neji one-on-one in close quarters combat. And Neji is the best getting to do that at this point in time.
Okay, so you're saying that the rotation neutralizes ranged attacks.
Yes.
So Sasuke has to go in and fight Neji close quarters, which he cannot do because of the gentle fist.
Yes.
Okay.
You understand it.
Okay.
You're understanding.
So here's my contention with that.
Okay.
Neji's rotation was stopped by Naruto's kunai attack when he was powered up by the Nine Tails' chakra. I think that the Chidori has to be equal to or greater than Naruto's kunai attack, and I believe it would be able to stop the rotation.
That's an excellent point, and I'm glad you brought that up. Because my boy Neji is not afraid of taking an attack like that straight onto the chest. Because he's done it once before against Kidomaru. When Kidomaru had his curse mark awaken, and he summoned the giant spider, and the giant spider used his ultimate attack, he hit him straight on and impaled him through the chest, barely missing his heart, which gave Neji the exact distance he needed to hit him with the gentle fist, 64 palms, and he killed him by destroying his heart.
Lucius, go ahead.
Okay. I hear what you're saying, but that is post-Chunin exam. Like, that is the Sasuke retrieval arc, which is separate from the Chunin exams. So, we could speculate about Kidomaru's arrow being relative in speed to Sasuke's Chidori, but we wouldn't really get anywhere. It's not relevant to the topic. I think that with the precognition of the Sharingan, Sasuke could perceive the beginning of the rotation, and he could find a point in which to strike with the Chidori to neutralize its momentum.
Well, how far can he perceive in that fight? Because if it's just like a move before,
That's all he needs.
It might not be fast enough to stop the rotation, though.
That's all he needs.
And like I said, you're right. The Kidomaru fight is ahead, but it's not like he learned any new moves. He didn't gain any new power to prove that he wouldn't be able to do said thing ahead.
It's reasonable to think that he might have trained in that time. I don't know if it was like a month or 5 months or whatever until the Chunin exam to the retrieval arc. I don't know what the time frame was, but I do think it's not the same exact Neji. I think it's reasonable to assume that he had an increase in power between then and this fight. Just like all the other characters did.
Okay. And at what point in time do you think Sasuke would whip out the Chidori? Because he would have to do that right at the get-go before Neji closed off the chakra point, so he wouldn't even be able to do that.
Okay. Sasuke is one of the smartest Genin in the class. he would probably know that getting into a close quarter fight with Neji is a pretty bad idea. Because not only is he not faster than Lee without weights, he's around the same speed, but he's not faster. And his taijutsu's also not as good. So I think he would begin the fight off trying to zone Neji out and make him use up chakra using rotation to deflect. Like Phoenix Flower or Fireball Jutsu, make him use his stamina trying to run around the ring. Now, having said that, I think that Sasuke would recognize the opportunity to use the Chidori is either after Neji has used a rotation, so that gap in between, or he could just challenge the rotation head on with the Chidori.
That's a good point, bringing up intelligence. Because did you know at this point in time, Neji is actually the smartest in the class. So if Sasuke tried to zone him out, Neji would probably interpret that and try to close the distance. And since you brought up Rock Lee as well, Rock Lee even admitted that he would not be able to beat Neji without the weights off and using at least third gate.
I do know that. I am familiar with that argument. Rock Lee has had many sparring encounters with Neji without his weights. And he has lost all of them. At least at this point in time, he's lost all of them. And he does have to activate at least a few gates if he wants to win. And there's even a panel where Neji has no real reaction to Rock Lee's fight with Gaara until a mention of the reverse lotus. And when Rock Lee has entered that fifth gate state and he's kind of bouncing around the arena. That's when Neji starts to be concerned whether or not he could actually beat him. We also know Sasuke is not as fast as that version of Rock Lee. This is the fifth gate. But he's about as fast as Rock Lee without his weights. And raw, just like straight up travel speed, if Neji tries to get close to Sasuke, Sasuke has enough movement speed to kind of keep that space gap.
Neji is just as fast, or maybe faster, than Neji with weights on. If Sasuke started to run away, what's to say Neji wouldn't catch him?
I don't think he would. I think his hand-to-hand combat speed is probably comparable to Lee's, but I don't think his travel speed is.
So you're saying from point A to point B, not
from point A to point B.
Reaction speed.
And then you also have to figure in that Sasuke can perceive Neji's next move.
I think that's where the distance will increase. I'm not saying that Neji would not catch him. What I'm saying is, because of the Sharingan, whatever distance was closed, Neji couldn't catch up because Sasuke would see what the next movement is.
Yeah, basically. Rock Lee, having been somebody who's fought Neji a lot, Neji would be comfortable fighting at that speed. Sasuke has comparable speed to that Rock Lee, but he has the Sharingan, which was why he was able to do a straight line drive attack on Gaara, because he would be able to react to what's coming next. There's actually a panel where Lee says he can't do that because he doesn't have the Sharingan. So I think that's what gives Sasuke like the leg up if Neji were to try and close the gap.
Even if that's the case, what Neji's trying to do isn't trying to just start slugging it out with Sasuke. Neji's looking for chakra points and organs to hit. With his gentle fist, if he hits you in a chakra point, whatever organ is close to that, it starts to take damage. I don't know about you. I for sure haven't ever been hit in the liver directly before. But that sounds like it would hurt a lot. So, going forward, if Sasuke gets hit once in the arm, twice in the arm, You can kiss that Chidori goodbye. Won't happen. Gets hit in the leg. It's not gonna happen.
We're going off the premise that these two were plucked from the fights that they originally had planned. Neji would not know what the Chidori is, so he would not be looking to stop it. His primary concern would be the Sharingan. So just blocking off his general chakra network would probably be Neji's first bet. But again, he'd have to get close enough to do that. And I don't think that he can. So I think Sasuke would try and force the issue knowing this. And I think he would try to get a Chidori going on Neji. I think Neji would try to rotate to stop it. And I think they would cancel each other out. At the very least. And then from there, I think Sasuke could deliver either another Chidori or an attack comparable to, let's say, like a Lion's Barrage, because we know it took a punch to knock Neji out. With Naruto, pretty sure a Lion's Barrage would probably do the same thing.
Here's the thing. Neji was already depleted. He had to run around evading a cloaked Naruto during this fight. And Neji's Byakugan is so great that even if he doesn't know what a Chidori is, he would see Sasuke like trying to amass chakra in his hand. And at that point, he would try to close off the chakra network to that arm. So he has no idea what Chidori is, you are right. But he would see the chakra trying to amass in the hand and then try to close off the points to the hand. Because Sasuke needs to sit there and concentrate in order to get off a Chidori. And he needs a huge running start.
Okay, that's fair. But again, I would argue that look at like the starting distance from all the previous fights. Again, Sasuke initially would try to get space to start using his fire release techniques. Neji would try and rotate these or move out of the way. And in that time frame, I think Sasuke could form a Chidori after he got enough distance, and then he could launch his Chidori.
But you're assuming that once he uses the fireball as a distraction or whatever, that Neji wouldn't know where he's at. But Neji can see where he's at. Neji's Byakugan is so good, actually, that whenever Naruto uses Shadow Clone Jutsu, he always knows where the real one is. So whatever distraction that fireball would cause wouldn't even matter, because he would always know where you are. And if he saw you try to back up and jump to the wall like he did against Gaara, Neji would see you, and he would still see the chakra amassing in your hand and try to close that distance. So even, let's say he got to the top of the wall, right? He still needs to run all the way down for the Chidori to build up. If he stops you in the middle of the wall, I'm saying he still gets to run down. It'll still be a Chidori, but it won't be potent enough to kill Neji.
Oh, it'll kill Neji if it hits him.
It's not a full Chidori, though. It's a half-mass, quarter-mass Chidori.
He had to make... he got the opportunity to charge it that much because Gaara was in the cocoon. But we saw in that same arc that when he used the Chidori, he could form it and then he could leap at his opponent and deliver the same strike. It may not be as much potency, but Neji doesn't have giant sand defenses.
But he has the perfect defense, which is the rotation. So his Chidori has to be strong enough to break through the rotation. We're not saying he has to be fast enough. He has to be strong enough to break through the rotation. So I'm not going to say he has to have the same to beat as he did through Shikaku, but he's going to have something close to that to get through the rotation.
Again, if Naruto with the Nine Tails boost in the chakra, kunai could stop it, then Chidori could at least neutralize it.
But do you hear that? He had to have a Nine Tails boost of chakra to stop it. Sasuke doesn't have that. Hasn't have that pools to pull from in order to gain that much chakra.
Yeah, Naruto
so he's gonna
running on E.
So he's gonna have to have that full-fledged Chidori to get through the rotation.
I just think he needs a Chidori. He just needs a Chidori.
Chidori got to be a beefy one, dude. It's got to be a beeferton, a big bully Chidori to get through that rotation.
I don't think it does. Because again, I think he has the Sharingan. He could see the attack start up. He could see it coming and know, okay, this is my opportunity to strike.
Well, it's not going to show him where to hit. It's just going to show him what's going to happen. So he can still see what's coming and still hit the wrong point.
He could, but we know he's not a dumbass.
But we also know he's a very prideful person.
But this is to kill.
Yeah, he did that against Haku. Even then he was super prideful. And it was to kill. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Tango, you're good. So now we're gonna move on to Lucius.
I know I'm good. I'm always good.
Shut up. All right, so Lucius, you go ahead and plead to me your case of Sasuke.
All right, we've kind of been talking in circles for a bit. So this is my definitive kill condition. This is how I think the battle would play out exactly. We've talked about zoning. We've talked about close quarter combat. We've talked about rotations, Chidoris, all that jazz. My main thing is fire release jutsu is the X factor. Neji has kunai knives like every other regular ninja, but at this point in the series, he does not have a way to battle out Sasuke's range techniques besides dodging. Now Neji is top tier Genin. He's got stamina, but I think Sasuke's going to tire him out by keeping him at a distance, and then he will charge in for Chidori, which cannot be countered or cannot be stopped by a rotation. They might cancel out, but then Sasuke can just charge up another one, or he can deliver a Lion's Barrage on an exhausted Neji and beat him with Taijutsu like Naruto did.
That's a good point. But if we're talking about stamina, how long can Sasuke use that Sharingan for? It's not very long in part 1. So, as long as he's using the Sharingan to try to see what Neji's going to do and try to predict movements, he's going to tire out before Neji does. And the distance created with the Fireball Jutsu is important for Sasuke. But like we said, he's just rotation it or he'll dodge it.
Would you like him to kill Neji with the Fireball Jutsu as well? I could set that up. Because we're forgetting the Dragon Flame Jutsu.
How he's gonna see the threads.
He can see the threads.
And then he'll move.
And
then
it's a trap.
Doesn't get hit.
Trap. He sees the threads. He knows where they're going. Now he has to literally try and stop them all.
He'll just leave. Or he'll rotation them out the ground. Because his rotations can break up the first layer of earth.
And he rotates Chidori.
As he's doing... He can't do both at the same time.
No, he can't. But if Neji uses rotation to stop the shuriken, all Sasuke has to do is let go.
He has to charge the Chidori. So you're saying as he's doing the Dragon Flame, he's also charging the Chidori?
No. Okay. The setup is the restraint. So like when he used it on Orochimaru, he had to restrain him first. So he throws the shuriken out. And let's say Neji rotates. He said, okay, get that out of here. After that rotation, Sasuke uses the Chidori. That creates an opening. He could Chidori, he could fireball him. He could get in close with his speed. Surprise attack.
Okay, I'm going to use your same point against you. So let's say Neji's chasing Sasuke around. Sasuke's using up his Sharingan. He's getting real tired. He used a lot of fireballs. It's real toasty out there on the field. And Sasuke slows down just enough for Neji to set up his Gentle Fist 64 bombs. Once he's inside the range, it's cooked. It's done. Your boy's dog food.
Counter.
He's been dog walked. And all he has to do is hit you close to your heart point, and then you're done. You're dead. You're just like Fish Boy over there. You're just like, you just got slapped around like Chris Rock. You're done.
The man was too stunned to speak.
No, I'm just surprised you're that stupid.
Oh,
Listen, as I said before, Neji's not going to get the opportunity to spring Sasuke in his 64 palm trap. Create the advantage by zoning Neji. First, that's step one. Once he uses rotation or he starts to flee, then you go in with a direct attack, which he can do because he's got the Sharingan. Now it could be Chidori, it could be just regular old taijutsu. Once he creates the opening, he's done. I think this fight ends in literally one exchange, either way, but it's over in one exchange. Neither of these guys have the endurance to trade blows.
Except for Neji. Neji does have the endurance to trade blows.
No, he doesn't. He got knocked out by one punch.
After like 50 minutes.
Yeah, that's why I say this exchange ends in one exchange. Or this fight ends in one exchange.
The second the match starts, Neji's going to be like, I'm going to show you the power of the Hyuga clan. And Sasuke's going to be like, you better watch out. I'm an Uchiha. Ooh, I'm edgy. And then, he's going to try to, he's not going to space distance. He's not going to space distance until he sees what Neji is capable of. Because at this point, he's never seen Neji fight.
He hasn't seen Neji fight.
No one's seen Neji fight at this point. So, Sasuke, as cocky as he is, he's going to try. The first thing he's going to try to do, he's going to throw some shurikens, and he's going to try the Lion's Barrage. And the Lion's Barrage is not going to hit.
Sasuke would know better than to just charge in on a Hyuga clan user.
I don't know, man.
He's one of the smartest getting in the class. So he would not just, especially after he fought Neji's teammate, and he got bodied by Rock Lee. Now he's about as fast as Rock Lee is without his weights on. So he's not going to say, oh, let me go in there and get my nerves touched. He doesn't want that.
That man is going to go in there. That grown man Neji. He is not a boy. He is the strongest. At this point, even the leader of the Hyuga clan says he is the strongest Hyuga member at this point in time. That grown man Neji, he's going to go in there and try to touch this boy. He's going to Timmy 2 touch him in all of his special parts.
The great thing about the Sharingan is he can see that shit coming from a mile away.
He has Sharingan for 2 minutes and then he can't use it anymore.
As I said before, this fight does not last very long.
Let me tell you something about this boy Neji. He lost that first time around. I ain't gonna lie to you. He lost to the plot armor of Naruto Uzumaki. But the second time he went around, he won the Chunin exam. And he won so good that they said, nah, you're not even a Chunin. We're just gonna make you a Jonin. That's the man you're up against. That's your opponent. Are you sure this is the smoke you want?
Oh, I'm positive. But keeping it confined to Chunin exam Sasuke versus, Chunin exam Neji, I don't think him becoming a Jonin is relevant to this argument.
We're talking about the skill set of this kid. We're talking about the strength.
We know he's highly skilled.
He's the best.
Sasuke is highly skilled.
But he's not the best.
Well, that's why we're doing this debate, to see who would win. And I think that Sasuke's ninjutsu skill set gives him the edge.
Well, if we're comparing ninjutsu between these two, of course, because Neji doesn't use any.
Yeah, but it's not because he doesn't use any. It's because the specific abilities. Because look, Sakura knows ninjutsu somewhere, but who cares? She doesn't know the Chidori. None of the other Genin know the Chidori. That's what makes this a problem. None of the other Genin know Fireball Jutsu, Phoenix Flower Jutsu. That's what makes Sasuke a problem.
What makes Lee a problem? Not Lee, Neji. Lee too. Lee's kind of the same problem though. What makes Neji a problem? You have to beat him close quarters. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Sasuke would have to get in his grill and throw hands. Because range attacks don't work. Kunai won't work. Shuriken won't work. Fireball Jutsu won't work. The only thing that Sasuke would be able to do to beat Neji is a Chidori. A full-fledged Mamma Jamma Whamma Chidori. And at the point where, let's say this, they're both at their edge's peak. This is the last hit. This is the last straw. Sasuke's going to charge up a Chidori. Neji's going to get his 8 trigrams ready. And that's how this would end. Because the second Sasuke stepped into that beautiful planted circle, it's cooked. Because the second you're in it, you get hit. There is no dodging. There's no more.
There's no dodging for Lee.
There's no more dodging in that circle.
For Lee.
Who's faster than Sasuke?
They're comparable in speed. Neji has fought Lee with his average speed.
Okay, you said they're comparable in speed, correct? So
Yes.
if they're comparable in speed and Lee would get hit, that means Sasuke would get hit too.
Lee does not have the Sharingan.
That just means he would see the ass whooping come before it hit.
Remember when Lee told Sasuke that it does not matter if you can see what I'm going to do first if you can't react to it.
Mm-hmm.
When Sasuke was significantly slower than Rock Lee.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're the same speed just about. And now he can still see the attack coming.
Mm-hmm.
So, I give that edge to Sasuke. Because when it comes close to close quarter combat, and there is one decisive blow to finish the fight, I'm going to give that edge to Sasuke because he can see what Neji's going to do.
I'm gonna give it to the guy.
Neji just sees it in high definition.
I'm gonna give it to the guy where when you land in the circle, you get bodied.
Not if you know what he's going to do.
All that means is you see it before it happens. Oh wow, I'm gonna get my butt kicked, and then you get your butt kicked.
Not if you can move out of the way because, oh hey, you're going to throw this straight hook. Okay, I'm not going to be in the way of it.
Or it's, oh, you're going to throw this straight hook, and then you get hit by it.
Again, when Rock Lee told Sasuke that he could not react to moves even if his eyes could see them because he was too slow, that is no longer an issue because Sasuke is now pretty much as fast as Rock Lee is.
Alright, Toe Trap fam, I'm going to stop these guys right here. They are talking in circles. They don't know what they're talking about anymore. So we're going to call it a draw. We're going to say that Neji and Sasuke kind of just take each other out. So if y'all don't really agree, let us know in the comments what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video. See ya.
Ribbit, 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 ribbit.